We've got an EPUB out of InDesign and we're ready to clean up now. There is quite a lot that needs to be done, but I hope to simplify it for you. Don't forget to go look in the downloadable section. There are some things, some tips and tricks and some cheat sheets that will help you. There are a number of things that the InDesign export does that must be remediated for accessibility. But before we dig into that, let's talk about text editors. There are free text editors and paid text editors, and they all have various strengths and weaknesses. In general, the screenshots in this training will be from Oxygen, because that's the text editor that I prefer. So this is Oxygen on the screen right now. And this is how the ebook looks when you open it. There's the meta INF folder, there's the OEBPS. This is how it looks. This is how it displays HTML, etc. The interface can be quite sophisticated and it might be off-putting to people who are new to editing code, but what I like a lot about Oxygen is that it validates EPUBs on the fly and it validates HTML, CSS, and other things as you go. So let's just have a quick look at what that looks like. I'm going to delete a closing pointy bracket from this H1 tag, and it immediately tells me there's something wrong here. The messages aren't always super duper intuitive. In this case it is, and then let's have a quick look at the CSS and have a look at what that looks like. I'm going to delete a closing bracket, and then I get a quick validation error saying there's something wrong here. This one is especially obtuse. It's not clear what's wrong, but there's something wrong and it understands it and it redlines it immediately for you. So that I find that really valuable. In addition, you don't have to zip and unzip to use Oxygen, which I find really valuable. Okay, so that's Oxygen, and let's go have a look at Sigil. So Sigil is also really useful. The main difference between Sigil and Oxygen, I mean, there's a lot of differences, but one of the most significant ones is that Oxygen is a paid tool. It's a software subscription, as is so many things these days, and Sigil is an open source free tool. So a lot of ebook developers opt for Sigil because the price is exactly right. It's also, the nice thing about Sigil is it's a dedicated EPUB editor. It only does EPUBs. It doesn't do anything else. Oxygen does tons of other things. It's quite sophisticated. And that's not to say Sigil isn't sophisticated. It's just that it's more dedicated and just for this purpose. And the developers are really active on mobile read forums. They take feedback seriously. I find that extremely valuable. Sigil shows you more than you need. So there's an audio, video. This is the same book that we just saw in Oxygen. There's an audio, video, and miscellaneous folder. There's nothing in them. That's why there's no roll down like there is on the fonts folder, for example. So sometimes it gives you a little bit more than you need. The teeny tiny thing I don't like about Sigil is that sometimes it does things to your code that you didn't ask it to without your permission, and I don't love that. That said, it's a very capable tool and I like it a lot. I use it all the time. And there are a number of other text editors in the world, and it's worth noting that the best tool for the job is the one that you are the most comfortable with. So most other editors like BBEdit, Notepad++ will require that the EPUB is unzipped by a separate utility and then rezipped when editing is concluded. To help with that task, there's a utility called eCanCrusher. It's a very useful drag and drop tool that will take care of the zipping and the unzipping. It's actually really great. So give that a look up. Okay, those are text editors. In the next section, we'll just have a poke around the EPUB to look at it and familiarize yourself with it.